What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and as you guys can see from the title of the video, I have suffered a horrible injury and have gone through surgery. The injury that I had was a ankle ligament tear. I tore two of my ankle ligaments and also damaged my joints a little bit in the ankles. Now before I want to start this video, I just want to go through the backstory of how I got injured. It probably happened around 4 or 5 years ago when I sprained my left ankle for the first time. I was in probably grade 7 or 8 when I sprained it once, and ever since then it was just a recurring thing. It would happen to me every 2 or 3 months, and it would happen to me in training. So I'm the type of player who would get an injury like a sprained ankle or just a splint toe, and I'd keep going. So every time I sprained my ankle, I would lie on the ground for like 5 minutes in agony and then wake up right away and start training again. And I think in the end, that mentality of trying too hard actually hurt me, because from all those times I kept I didn't want to stay out of the team or out of training and rest and let the ankle heal, so I just kept playing with it being injured and kept spraining it over and over and over again. And it came to a point where I felt like my foot wasn't there anymore, my left foot, and that's why I think my shooting has digressed so much in the last few years. It came to the point where in 1 year I remember I would sprain my ankle at least once a month, and every 2 or 3 games I played, I'd sprain my ankle in a game. And every time it wouldn't be too bad, but the problem is it would just happen over and over again on the same side of the foot, and it would happen the same way over and over again. There'd be no players around me, but I'd just trip over myself and lay on the floor. So yeah, that's been happening for the last 5 years, and the reason I didn't want to go to a doctor is because I was ignorant, I guess. I didn't think too much of it. I felt like I could still play at a relatively good level. I wouldn't be at 100%, but I'd be at like 95%. My ankle would feel a bit loose sometimes. And yeah, the reason why I decided to get it checked out this year and in last August, because when I woke up in the morning, I felt a sharp pain in my Achilles and around my ankle. The side that I sprained it on, which is my left ankle. And I decided to go get it checked out by the doctor and get an MRI. Turns out I had 2 torn ligaments, completely torn, and had to go get surgery on September. Now this is 1 week post-surgery, so I'll have some footage for you guys of when I was in surgery. So this was on last Wednesday, or the Wednesday before this week. So let me check what day it was. It was on the 9th of September that I went into hospital for the first few days. I had to take 2 days out to take a few more MRIs and a few x-ray and heart scans. And after that, on the 11th of September, 9/11, I had my foot surgery. Now before the surgery, I was actually not too nervous. I was actually a bit excited because after all this time of playing, not at my best, I could finally get surgery and actually get my ankle to heal and play at my best. So I was a bit, anxious, but also very excited for the surgery. During the surgery, they had me on anesthesia, but I wasn't sleepy at all. I just felt numb on my left side, which is the side that they had the operation on. And I actually saw the whole thing happen. They had the blinds in front of me to cover my eyes so I couldn't see it, but in the reflection of the mirrors and the lights, I could actually see them cutting up my ankle and replacing the joints and yeah, replacing the ligaments. Now initially I only had 2 torn ligaments, and the doctors told me that the ligaments that I tore was really in bad condition. They must have been torn for at least 2 or 3 years, because by the time that they opened it up, it had already shrunken. Like the torn ligaments and the parts had shrunken into bits, and that normally shouldn't happen unless you've torn it for years. And another thing that happened, which came consequently because I tore my ligaments is that after I tore 2 of my ligaments, all of my joints and my bones connected in the ankles suffered greatly. And it looked like the joints of an old person. The doctors told me that because without the ligaments protecting the joints, they collide each other way too often, and it caused, joint damage. And I had a lot of damage in my ankle joints, which probably plays into the part where, why my shooting has been so horrible these last few years. Yeah, they also had to have joint surgery as well on top of the 2 ligament replacements. So the surgery in total was supposed to be an hour and a half, but it ended up being 4 hours. And that took a super long time. It felt like forever in the surgery room. But yeah, during the surgery I could actually hear everything. So they actually used a ton of hammers for some reason, and they also used a drill or some cutting machine that went like brrrr. And I could hear all of that, and I could see it, cutting through my bones and my joints and my ligaments. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. That was definitely an experience to remember. But post-surgery, I still had an anesthesia going for 2 or 3 hours, and on my recovery bed, and I told the doctors, "Hey doc, I don't feel any pain. You guys should let me go home now." And obviously they didn't do that. The doctors told me, "Wow, you're not gonna believe what you're gonna be experiencing tonight." And damn, I could not believe the experience I had that night. I was crying in pain for the whole night. Couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. Like, I cried myself to sleep that night. They had to go give me, more painkillers, but that was the only night that I really, had painkillers. The following night, I also cried because of pain, but the pain was, lessened a little bit. It was probably only a 7 out of 10, but the problem was it was consistent. It was like knocking on you constantly for like 3 or 4 hours in a row, and I could only sleep at 4 a.m. the following night. And on the 3rd night at the at the hospital, not the hotel, the pain started to going down, and I could actually sleep now. And on the 4th day and 5th day, I was perfectly comfortable. And on the 5th day, they let me out of the hospital. And from there, my mom picked me up. I got in a taxi and headed home. Now, on my 1-week stay at the hospital, I actually lost 10 or 12 pounds in a total of 5 kilograms. So I went from 80 kilograms down to 75. And I could see my quads especially significantly shrinking down from what it was before. Just from, lying down too much. Like, for the first 2 days after surgery, I couldn't even get my, spine up. So I had to lay in bed all day. Couldn't even go to the bathroom on my own. Had to pee in a cup, basically. Sorry, that's kind of disgusting, but yeah, it's just the truth. But yeah, following the surgery, my ankle now feels pretty fine. It's 1 week post-surgery, and if, I'm feeling great. I'm starting rehab already. Started to move my toes, started to move my ankles lightly. Already practicing crunches. Walking on crutches, not crunches. Walking on crutches, and yeah. The doctors told me the recovery time is going to be about 3 or 4 months. So I'm just trying to expect being able to play after 4 months. I'm gonna create a program on my own. I'm gonna create some plans to recover from the injury. But yeah, I'm gonna start a new series basically on my recovery plan, and I'm gonna document the whole recovery all the way through, from me being able to walk without crutches again, to being able to jog again, to being able to play football again, and joining a team again. Now, in terms of football, I actually quit my old local team because I was injured, and I was gonna be injured for quite a long time, 3 or 4 months, and I didn't want to be a burden, so I quit the team. And I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to find a team in the future. So I'm not worried about finding a team right now. I'm just worried on getting back on track, getting my movement, my mobility back, and getting back into fitness in the next 3 or 4 months, and then I'll find a team again and start playing in tournaments again. So you guys don't have to worry about the football side. I'll be back for sure. One story that has definitely inspired me throughout this recovery time and the surgery time is Ronaldo Nazario, the Phenomenal's recovery progress during his days in Inter Milan, where he suffered 2 knee ligament ruptures in a row. He had to be out for 2 years, I think, a little bit more than 2 years. He didn't play for 2 seasons, and he came back in the 2002 World Cup to score 9 goals and bring Brazil to a World Cup victory. So I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to come back from this ankle ligament surgery and be just the player that I was, if not even better. So yeah, right now I'm just fully focused on recovery and everything like that. But yeah, I hope you guys stick with me throughout the journey. I'm definitely going to be making a lot more episodes on recovery. And yeah, hope you guys stick around for the next videos. Definitely a bit sad to have to go through surgery, but I am super excited to come back because I've been playing with a dead foot, my strong foot being my dead foot, for the last 2 or 3 years. And I've also still been pretty good. I've captained my high school team. I've done a lot of games, trained a lot, played for my local team, scored a lot of goals. Just imagine how good I could be if I had all my ankle ligaments attached to each other basically and not torn apart. So yeah, I'm just thinking of the potential that I can reach after the injury recovery. I'm really excited, guys. Hope you guys stick with me through the journey. I'm gonna be making a lot more episodes, and yeah, peace out, guys.